My name is Don Mercer, and the topic of this video presentation is factors influencing food quality. Financial support for production of this series of video presentations was provided by the Széchenyi Society, founders of the Hungarian programs at the University of Toronto. The Széchenyi Society sponsorship is gratefully acknowledged. I would personally like to thank Dr. Leventi Diashadi, professional engineer and fellow of the International Academy of Food Science and Technology, who is a professor in the Department of Chemical Engineering and Applied Chemistry at the University of Toronto. Dr. Diashadi's considerable efforts in coordinating this project are greatly appreciated. The material in these video presentations is based on an e-book published in November of 2014. The title of this e-book is An Introduction to the Dehydration and Drying of Fruits and Vegetables. It is available on the International Union of Food Science and Technology website. This can be accessed through www.iufost.org. We will begin with a brief introduction, followed by discussions of the overall appearance of materials, feel, aroma, the source of materials, taste, variety, and other aspects that all lead to quality. We will finish up with some summary comments. The importance of selecting the proper starting materials for drying is often overlooked. Only the best quality produce available should be used. It should be A+ whenever possible. Any processing facilities that are drying fruits or vegetables should have a set of standards in place to define the quality of their ideal starting material. Since this is very subjective and may be product specific, we cannot set out any definite standards here. However, we can look at some of the basic attributes which need to be considered. We will examine factors influencing the quality of the finished product during the actual drying process in subsequent video presentations. Right now, our main focus will be the quality of the starting materials. A good approach to take is to envision that you are selecting the starting materials for your own consumption. If you would not consume it or feed it to your family, then you should not be using it as a starting material for your drying operation. All starting materials need to pass a visual inspection before they can be given any additional consideration. A visual inspection of the starting material is often a good way to avoid quality issues. As previously stated, if you wouldn't eat it fresh, then don't dry it. Drying of poor quality products will not miraculously improve things. There's an old saying that says, you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. So if you even consider doing this, it's actually a pipe dream. So please don't forget this when it comes to drying. We are also not alchemists and cannot change lead into gold. So why do some processors think that they can change poor quality starting material into high quality finished products? Starting materials should be free of blemishes and bruises and insect damage. Starting materials should also be free of surface contamination, such as dirt, bird droppings, and mold growth. Color may be an indication of ripeness or enzymatic browning, etc., and can be very useful. Here we see some hot yellow peppers that over time have changed to a red color. Also, with regard to color, note the apparent difference in ripeness. It may have an impact on sweetness. Here we have an unripe mango, but over time it ripens and definitely becomes much sweeter. Size or weight are attributes that may be important for the functioning of equipment in the processing line in preparation for drying. Material that is too large or too small may create problems in how machinery functions, so you need to get the size within a specified range. And this may be less of a problem for manual operations. Feel is also an important attribute. When you buy fruits or vegetables for your own use, you frequently make judgments based on texture or firmness, and this is quite true in the case of melons, where you see people picking them up and thumping them for ripeness and firmness and the other attributes that go along with picking the perfect melon. You should use the same approach when selecting materials for drying. Product that is drying out before you actually dry it may not be suitable for use, so use the feel test. We can also consider carrots. They should be crisp and firm, and they should not be flexible. Aroma is an excellent test, and the smell test is usually quite reliable. Avoid any material that doesn't smell just right. This is usually an indication of microbial growth. You should also consider the source of materials. More and more food processors are being held accountable for the traceability of their products right back to the initial raw material source. As such, you should obtain your raw materials from trusted suppliers. Try to inspect their facilities before you commit to any large-scale purchases. Knowing your suppliers will allow you to know the history of the raw materials that you are using. This knowledge can save you potential aggravation later. It's a really good idea to do this, so don't overlook this critical step. Concerns about the source may include the varieties of the plants that they are using, their pesticide usage, what fertilizers they're using, and a number of others, which include general growing conditions, storage and handling conditions and facilities, the validity of claims that they are making, such as organic. Other concerns may include the use of windfalls. Windfalls are fruit that falls from the trees and is collected from the ground rather than being picked from the trees. As such, it can be contaminated by animal droppings due to animals grazing in proximity to the crops. You need to worry as well about general sanitation and record keeping. It's extremely important to have record keeping and lot numbers so that if you have a problem, you can trace it right back to the source. These can all have an impact on the sale of your finished dried product. Serious financial impacts are possible if you do not have a reliable source of raw materials. So consider the financial impact before you make any large-scale commitments. Taste, of course, is another important attribute. There should be standards or guidelines to describe the taste attributes of your starting materials. Sweet apples may be better for some applications than more tart apples, and vice versa. There can be a loss of flavor components during drying, which may affect the final quality. In addition, off flavors may develop during drying if it is not carried out properly. We should also be concerned about the variety of our starting materials. Certain varieties of fruit, such as mangoes or apples, may have better properties for drying than others. These attributes can be picked up in their taste, especially sweetness, texture, color, and others. Here we have 3 varieties of apples. On the left is a Royal Gala. In the middle we have a Granny Smith, and on the right there is a Macintosh. These 3 apples have distinct characteristics and may be used for different applications, so you have to choose the variety correctly. There are possibly other aspects that you may want to consider, so follow the lead of the statue of the thinker here and put some very serious deliberation before you commit to long-term contracts or commit to a particular supplier. So in summary, the points listed above may not cover all aspects of the products you are drying. However, this brief introduction of the topic should get you thinking about the importance of raw material quality in all your processing activities, not just drying. Before you begin drying a specific product, you should compile a list of all the desirable attributes found in the fresh material. These attributes can then be incorporated into specifications for raw materials. Thank you very much.